Hey there, welcome to day 17. What you gonna do about your financial situation as we apply the SOAP framework, I was just setting my timer, to our financial situation, our financial health. Remember those 9 areas and aspects of our life that we're looking at this year? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, communication, and confidence. Now, talked about physical, we went through the SOAP framework. Hopefully you work through your own personal example, just like I'm doing now with the financial area and aspect of my life. We are on the A in the SOAP framework, and A stands for action. A couple of things about this. I've been observing as I've worked with literally thousands of people throughout this COVID pandemic and challenge period. I've noticed, and I will admit I've noticed it in myself as well. There's this, I call it the COVID effect. There's this tendency, since COVID has entered our lives, to freeze in place, to do nothing, to just stop and procrastinate and wait for things to happen, mostly outside of us, to tell us how we should think, how we should feel, what we should do. This is a really, really dangerous place to let ourselves slip into. And it's easy to slip into, especially in a time when there's lots of uncertainty. I think one thing that we can all agree on is uncertainty is an absolute huge part of all of our lives, and it's going to be from now on. It's like thinking changes and challenges and problems and obstacles and things like that aren't going to pop up into our life. They always are going to, and that's why it's so important that we have a process installed in our subconscious that becomes as simple and natural as breathing in order to handle any changes and challenges that come our way automatically. And then the bigger ones, the other things that are so out of the ordinary, we'll apply that process first automatically, and then it will tell us, oh, we need more work on this. We need more attention to this. COVID-19 was one of those for me. It was not a normal change or challenge in the world. And I found myself, like so many other people, which is probably why I noticed it and can relate to it, just falling into this numb zone where we weren't thinking for ourselves. We were listening to outside sources. We were listening to the news. We were listening to the CDC. We were listening to politics. We were listening to religious leaders. We were listening to leaders that aren't even leaders. We were listening to movie stars and people spout off about stuff. And all it did was massively increase our confusion. And guess what? When we're confused, human beings, me too, when we're confused, we shut down. We say no. We just block everything out and we stay in place. One of the worst things we can do in times of change and challenge is to do nothing. Sometimes doing nothing is the right answer, but more often than not, it isn't. And we regret the things that we don't do that we should have done much more. There have been studies done on this. We regret things that we should have done that were wrong and we made a mistake on more than if we did something and we made the wrong move. Both items lead to a wrong outcome or a wrong temporary result, but we regret the things that we don't take action on. I think there's a lot of people living in regret right now. Maybe you. I know some things I regret not doing over the last year and a half, and part of the reason I didn't do them is because of all of the uncertainty and all the craziness and all the stuff that was going on in the world. One of those, for example, is travel. One of my goals and objectives as I get older is to do more traveling, and of course in 2020 I did absolutely no traveling. I think we went to the cabin. Excuse me, my throat is really weird today. But that was it. So enough pontificating on that. Just realize that we do that naturally. Don't beat ourselves up about it, but decide we're going to make decisions. We're not going to stay stuck waiting for the outside world to give us permission to become ourselves and to be ourselves and to do what it is that's right for us. So to take action, we need to have decision-making tools that help us decide among alternatives. The whole purpose of the options of SOAP is to give us lots and lots of alternatives. Now, I made a list yesterday of, let me sneak back on my homework and see how many things I listed. I listed 16 different possible things I could do when I did my Power Vision movie, which I love doing that exercise. I just sat down outside where it was quiet and I spent a few minutes imagining what I could possibly do to fill that gap to get an additional $3,000 a month. That's the example I'm using this time. And I added all the senses, and then I went from where I am now to feeling how awesome it would be to know that that's just a done deal in my life, and that I'm I'm creating and I'm taking advantage of the thing I want to buy with that $3,000 a month. So 3 of the options I picked were one-on-one coaching, a workshop, or consulting, a business consulting gig. Now, how do I decide among those alternatives? I like to use something. I'm going to teach you another decision-making tool today. It's not quite as complicated as the urine analysis we learned through the physical well-being of our life. But it's called, it doesn't have a name. If anybody has a cool name, let me know. I just call it head, heart, and intuition. And I make a little graph, and I say, okay, what are my options? What are the possible options I'm choosing between alternatives on? Then I put a little head, a heart, and intuition column. And then I like to put a total column and a rank, because I like to kind of nominal group technique this, and we'll learn the nominal group technique decision-making tool probably next time we go through the SOAP framework with all 4, and we'll do that with respect to our relationships. But all we do then is we rate. I like to rank on a scale of 1 to 10 each option. So I'll do my option A, and I don't know, let's say option A is workshop. Do I want to do a workshop? Well, what does my head and my brain say about that? Could I do a workshop pretty easily? Do I feel good and positive and that I'm capable and I have the mental bandwidth to do that? Yes, so not so much compared to the other alternatives, but I gave that a 4. This is not the one I use for this particular thing. I haven't done mine yet, but I'm just giving you an example. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how does my heart feel about doing a workshop? Is my heart in a workshop? Meh. It's kind of meh. And then my intuition says, a workshop isn't something people want right now, so I'm going to give that a 3. Then I'm going to add those up for a total. I'm going to do that for each of my different options that I'm considering. I just do 3 because I want you to at least do 3 so you learn the tool. And then I look at the total and the rank. Well, 3, 2, 1. So this one had the highest score. Therefore, that's the option I'm going to do, option B. So I'm not sure I explained that very well. It's hard to do in such a short period of time, but it's just another way of looking at and analyzing alternatives to help us decide what to do. So today your action item is to do this. Look at least 3 of the possible actions from your Power Vision movie yesterday. Do the head, heart, intuition scale of 1 to 10 on them and figure out which one comes up first, and then share in the comments below the action you're going to act on, the action you're committing to act on. Now, it might not even be one that you do the nominal group, or not nominal group, that you do the head, heart, intuition exercise on. It might be something entirely different. So just share the action that you're committing to do. The point is that you're committing to us and to yourself if you're going to actually take that action today. That's it. Have an awesome day. Any questions, hit me up because I went through this really fast. That's it. Have an awesome day, and I will course you for day 18 of our Get Up Go Challenge. We will be talking about, of course, the P of financial health and how do we make this become an automatic thing for us. All right, have a great day. I'll be with you tomorrow. Bye.